no stranger to the creature that you're seeing on your screen there, and if you're ready to learn more, it's time. There's a public education and awareness symposium on the giant African snail, friend or foe, happening on the 24th of July. Joining us this morning is Professor Mark Wuddivira, the Dean of the Faculty of Food and Agriculture at the University of the West Indies, and Dr. Vidya De Gannes, lecturer in the Department of Food Production at the University of the West Indies. Good morning to both of you and welcome.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewing audience.
Thank
good
you.
Morning to Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you so much for the warm greetings, and thank you for being here, because this is something that is literally everywhere. And as you said, well, this is what they do. So to start, can you give us an overview, maybe briefly, of the giant African snail and also the upcoming public education and awareness symposium?
All right, we are very excited to be here this morning and to speak about this public education and awareness symposium on the giant African snail. Of course, this is a very, very topical national issue. Wherever you turn, the issue of giant African snail is one that you hear always. And we thought that it is important as responsible institutions. Of course, the University of the West Indies, in collaboration with the Ministry of Agriculture, Land and Fisheries, and the University of Trinidad and Tobago, we thought that it is important for us to speak about this creature, the giant African snail. And we want to look at it. We want to create this awareness that people will understand, what is this giant African snail? What are there benefits? Is it all the bad things that we see about it? Because it reproduces rapidly.
Yes.
It is everywhere. It's difficult to eradicate.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that we need to do?
So it's interesting, Professor, because a lot of people will say, well, I'm not a gardener, I'm not a farmer. I just see them as I'm going about my daily life. Why do I need to attend this symposium? What would you advise them?
Definitely, this is not just, we're talking about food security here. We're talking about public health here. We're talking about, ecosystem health as well. So it is not something that just affects farmers. This is something that could affect your health, because we've been told that it's a vector to certain diseases and so on. So it is for policymakers as well. It is for home gardeners. It is for health professionals. It is for farmers, for scientists, for educators, for students as well.
Wonderful. And I think it'll be quite exciting, because there's a lot to learn about it. As you said, everywhere you go, you end up seeing one.
Yeah.
So let's bring you into the conversation, Dr. De Gannes. Good morning again, and welcome.
Thank you.
So let's speak a little bit about the theme. Quite a daunting theme, friend or foe. What is that about?
Yes, so it is quite an interesting theme, friend or foe. And it's crucial, it's critical that we look at that dual perspective theme, because as we know, a lot of information has been out there about the foe aspect, a giant African snail being destructive to crops, to food security, as Professor Wuddivira indicated, but regarding the friend aspect, emerging research has shown that there are potential beneficial uses of the giant African snail. In other parts of the world, for example, Nigeria, the giant African snail is utilized as a delicacy. It's also utilized as animal feed. We have a lot of emerging research has been demonstrating this, owing to the very high protein content and the mineral composition of the giant African snail. Not only that, it has been used to reduce aging effects. So it has been used, the slime in the African snail has been used in the production of lotions, body creams and so on. Right, so there are emerging research that in other parts of the world, scientifically published research, all right, and it's important that we also look at that aspect of the giant African snail. Now, we would have heard from Professor Mark Wuddivira about the giant African snail is considered as a vector as well for certain diseases. So it has been considered as a vector for the rat lungworm. I'm sure you probably heard about the rat lungworm as well. But the rat lungworm can also affect even, some of us consume iguana, right? Lizards, land crab as well, right? So not only the giant African snail can be a vector of this important parasite, the rat lungworm, all right? So the stringent HACCP principles, food safety principles that can be applied to inactivate the rat lungworm, such as cooking at certain temperature. And we have seen that recent research has shown that using particular temperature, for example, 100 degrees Celsius, boiling for a certain period of time, do render the rat lungworm ineffective. So it's crucial that we look at the dual perspective of the giant African snail.
And definitely, I mean, you said some things there that admittedly many Trinbagonians will go, oh, this might be not such a bad thing after all. But to be fair, we need to be educated and know what we're doing.
Exactly.
Right? So let's speak a little bit about who this event is intended for and what takeaways we'll get. Professor.
Right. So, like I would have mentioned, if you see on our flyer, of course, you see, a hand holding the snail, and you wonder, but why this on the on the slide? It's something that we've been told that it's dangerous. So one thing that I want to say, the snail in itself is. It's not dangerous.
Right.
The snail, if it is, it only gets dangerous when it gets into a contaminated environment.
Okay.
That's when it carries all the diseases that we speak about. But of course, the destruction that comes from the giant African snail is something that we cannot ignore, particularly when we're speaking about health, when we're speaking about food security. Is something that we need to come together, and all hands must be on deck. So it's for everybody. Everybody needs to be part of it so that we can chart a way forward on how to address this challenge.
Is there any specific call to action you're hoping is going to emerge from this particular symposium?
Certainly, like I said, the SDG 17, that's the Sustainable Development Goal 17, speaks about partnerships for the goal. So we're looking at it. The academia does not have the solution.
Right.
The academia alone does not have the solution. The policymakers do not have the solution. The practitioners out in the field do not have the solution. So all of us must come together. And we're looking at this as a beginning of a series of engagements and scientific investigation that will help us to chart a direction to address this very important national issue.
Right, so it's happening on the 26th of July. It is open to the public. 24th, my apologies.
Yes.
And it is open to the public.
It is open to the public, and it's going to be taking place at the School of Education auditorium at the St. Augustine campus at 5 p.m. Please join us. You can check our social media handles. Everything is there. And we'll be happy to have you around to have this important discussion.
Is this also going to be streamed, or is it only in person?
It is going to be in person.
Okay.
It is essentially going to be in person.
Okay, and before we close our conversation, Dr. De Gannes, I'll start with you. Any final thoughts when it comes to the opportunity this symposium gives to society, to students for education, engagement, and even collaboration among sectors?
Yes, definitely. We want everyone to be on board, all right? For students, stakeholders, educators, farmers, everyone, because as Professor Wuddivira said, that this is, all hands must be on board to help with the situation of the giant African snail. So I echo the same sentiments as Professor Wuddivira. We want everyone to attend this important symposium on the 24th of July.
And Professor, any closing comments?
We're just excited, and we're looking forward to seeing as many of you to this very important public awareness symposium. Thank you.
Well, thank you both for joining us this morning. It's been a pleasure, and looking forward to seeing the feedback that comes from this symposium and seeing some changes when it comes to how we deal with giant African snails and maybe see a decrease in the population.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You don't want to miss what's happening on the 24th of July. Go straight over to the UWI social media pages so that you can see how you can attend and find out more about the giant African snail. Stay tuned. Your birthdays are coming up after this break.